Hey there, Northwest Spur Chasers, John here. Well, finally back. It's been a while, waiting for winter to go away, and I finally got a dry opportunity, although I'm looking at clouds up above me right now and I'm really hoping this doesn't get blown out. But what I've done is I've set up an opportunity to come out here and do some pattern work. So I'm going to show you all the different chokes that we're going to use. I'm going to use my Mossberg Turkey Thug 535, of course, my favorite gun. Love this gun, fantastic gun. So we're going to do two different patterning distances. I'm going to do one at 20 yards because I tell you, like I've said, 90% of my shots tend to be inside of 20 yards or right at about 20 yards. Then I'm going to do one at about 40 because 40 tends to be the most I've ever had to shoot. A rare occasion that we've ever shot much further than that. The last time I took a long shot at 50 yards was a fall turkey hunt ages ago, just because I had a nice clean steady shot way out there and I was using heavy shot number 5 and it rocked that bird right to sleep with no issues. But there's some pretty amazing shells out there this year, and we're going to put a few to test. I'm also going to use a couple different chokes, so let me take you through the lineup of what we're going to do and I'll show you what we got set up. Alright, and some of you have asked, why the name change? It used to be Turkey Hunting Spokane, Washington. You know, I thought about that, and the name was fine for what it was. Originally, when I first started this YouTube channel, it was simply just, for family and fun, and to let relatives that are further away see what we do and see the kids as they grew up. But it got more popular, and so I just thought about it. We're in the Northwest, and I'm always chasing big spurs. I mean, I'm listening for the big gobble out there in the distance, and I'm trying to hunt that trophy bird. It's nice to shoot those 2- and 3-year-olds. But boy, it sure is fun to hunt those 4- and 5-year-olds when you hear them. So I thought, hey, we're in the Northwest Spur Chasers. It makes sense. And I really want to try to bring more people into this and get more videos. So it's going to keep moving forward, folks. We're going to do more with this channel and more with the future of Northwest Spur Chasers. That's my hope anyway. And so what you're going to see basically is I'm going to try to get some hunts, not just in Washington, but also in Idaho, which I've already been doing for a while. But we're going to get some hunts also in Montana and in Oregon, I'm hoping. So we can close in the Northwest to make it all come together. So any of you out there watching that want to be a part of it, give me a jingle on YouTube. If you're living in Oregon, or if you're living in Montana, you want to get a video, you want to become a Northwest Spur Chaser, come on, join the channel. Let's have some fun. Alright, so here's the lineup. First I want to talk about chokes for a minute. Now, I've been very blessed by a good friend and fellow hunter, Cole, who decided to try to push me forward into some new chokes. So, looks like he sent me a Code Black Pattern Master. Now, I've heard a lot about this and I've seen a lot of it, and it's supposed to be an amazing choke, so we're going to give that a try. So here's the Pattern Master right here, and I got it set up next to my True Glow choke. It's probably one of the first quality chokes I ever purchased. This is a really good choke, and I was surprised to find out that the Pattern Master and the True Glow had the exact same diameter. There's some major differences though. This is an amazing choke. I mean, you really need to go and read about it. There's a lot to understand about it. It does have some great porting on it. It creates very tight, dense patterns. We're going to find that out. It is all made in USA, that's for sure. Package says a lot about it right there. And what I noticed when I look inside this Pattern Master, first of all, what it is a .665. All right, so .665, but the difference also when you look inside the Pattern Master, and I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to try to let you see it. The camera's pretty good at low light. You'll see that there are 3 step downs inside of this. The first one's pretty close to the end, I'd say roughly ½ inch in. The next one is somewhere around a ½ inch beyond that, and then the last one before it exits, which should give its max choke down position. Those 3 different step downs of machining in there are going to allow the wad to be held back and allow everything to go out on its own and just keep a tighter pattern down the way. Alright, so we got a .665 on the Pattern Master. Amazing choke, look it up. The True Glow is basically also a .665. The difference though with the True Glow is that if you look inside, there's no step down machining to grab anything. It is just a straight machined out. So it's a gradual step down rather than some drastic ones. that's going to have some different effects. Now, I don't want to spend $1 million and shoot all day. I've already spent too much. So I'm going to focus on the Pattern Master as a future choke, and I'm going to go to the opposite side of the spectrum and go back to my Carlson's choke, which is a .660. So .665 is definitely different than .660, not drastic. You look inside the Carlson's, you'll see there's one slight step down, not real drastic, and it's out there near the front. It is a nice choke. I've used it for years with no issues, and never had a problem with it. In between, if I want to try, is the Heavy Shot choke, which is a .662. It also has 3 step down rings inside of it, but the step down rings on this one are further out towards the front. You can see that, so there's going to be differences. All right, so I'm going to focus primarily on my Carlson's and the Pattern Master. These are going to be my preferred chokes for the day, and if I get time, I might do the other ones as well. I think there ought to be a drastic difference in this. What I'm looking for, basically, out at my 20-yard target, is I want to see a good pattern that isn't excessively dense. I mean, I want it to be dense, but I also want it to be out a little bit. I don't want it to be super small and tiny. Enough to knock the bird down, enough to put enough kill pellets in the right place. But I want it to be not totally tight at 20 yards. So I'm looking for that, because a lot of our hunts out here where I go, it's real thick and deep. And as many people have seen, there's a lot of opportunity to miss. All right, so what are we shooting today? All right, here's the rundown of what I plan on shooting. I got it written down, so if you want to go back and look at it again, you can later on. Number 1, the first thing I'm going to shoot is the Federal 12 gauge 3-inch TSS number 9, the big shell on the market today with a big tag price as well, 1 3/4 ounce. All right, here's the TSS, and there's the shell as well. It's a fine looking shell. I like the way the end is designed. You're not going to have to worry about things falling apart with that. It's a good looking shell, and we're going to see how it does. So the Federal TSS and number 9 shot. The number 9 is super small, and the only reason that they can do it is because of this TSS load is super heavy for the size of it. Very dense material. So number 9 is about as heavy as a number 6 in Heavy Shot, roughly, give or take. So they can add a lot more BBs, a lot more power, a lot more oomph. The thing to also recognize when you're shooting these loads, 1,200 feet per second. Okay, 1,200 feet per second means you're pretty much shooting a Magnum blend, roughly. It's going to hurt more. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Heavy Shot Magnum blend. 12 gauge 3-inch 2 ounce 5.67 with heavy 13 in it. Here's the Magnum blend. Looks like your standard Heavy Shot shell. Looks like it's in pretty good condition overall. I see a little mark on this thing. That's not something you really want to see. Alright, there's a one knock it down on that. Anyway, 12 gauge 3-inch 2 ounce 5.67 of heavy 13, allowing the pattern to spread out a little bit. We're going to see how that works. 1,200 feet per second. Another reason why they call it Magnum blend, I believe. It's going to hurt a little bit. Alright, after that, Heavy Shot, heavy 13, 12 gauge 3-inch number 6 2 ounce is my favorite. Moving on to that one. I've been shooting it forever, and it has done fantastic with no issues. All the way out to 50 yards, Rick killed his bird. I think he might have been shooting number 5. I can't remember. It might have been 6. I'd have to look back at the video. But either way, he reached out and he slaughtered that thing. And I think it was more like 60 yards easy after the distance I looked back at. So that's a favorite. We're going to compare it. Last but not least, Federal's 3rd degree TSS though. We're using the new one, 3rd degree. I didn't want the old shell. They had some problems with it. I wanted to make sure I had the brand new one. So this Federal 3rd degree TSS, which means that for the number 7, 5.67, they put TSS in it. They also changed the wad to be a better wad. The other one had issues and wasn't making the best patterns. This one's supposed to do better. So we're going to find out. And you look at this one, it is 1,250 feet per second. It's going to hurt. And look it up. Federal 3rd degree did some pretty neat things. They got 40% number 7 heavyweight TSS grouping tightly at the back. And next in line is 40% number 5 premium lead, creates a dense, deadly pattern. We'll find out. And then up front, 20% number 6 flight stopper lead, spreads quickly to create a forgiving close range pattern. This might be a great shell for me to use, because sometimes I literally, if you've watched some of our videos, I've done some 5 and 6 yard shots, and so has my wife, amazingly well. So this might be a good shell. I'm going to try not to bore you to death though. Got a quick little hokey setup here. Going to shoot as natural as I can. Hold it nice and tight. I'll run down each one and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to start out with this brand new choke, the Code Black. First choke up. And we're going to run one shot through each one of these, and I'll tell you what each one of it is as we go and look at it. Here we go. Federal TSS, number 9. Locked and loaded. Safety's off. 20 yards. That definitely has got a kick. Alright, so also I'm going to bore snake this after every shot. That actually made a pretty darn good pattern. We'll take a look. Alright, there it is. TSS, 20 yards. That's a tight pattern. It went right where I was aiming, because I was floating ahead knowing that I was close to this bird. If he was walking, I would have aimed at the wattles, and that would have been great too. But man, that's pretty sick penetration. That's a good tight pattern for 20 yards. I'd hate to see it at 6. He obviously wouldn't have a head left. So, TSS, number 9, looking good, using the Code Black choke. No complaints there at all. Alright. Next, it's time to change chokes and go to the Carlson and compare the difference. Alright, here we go again. TSS number 9, Carlson's choke. Safety helps. Yep, she's got a kick. Alright, there's the Carlsons. 20 yards. Oh, that's a 20 yards. TSS number 9. Yeah, Carlson 660. I could tell I probably pulled a little bit to the right. I changed my aim angle as if I was shooting at a bird that was walking, to be honest with you. I aimed just in front of the red, just a tiny bit. So floating the head, if he was moving forward at all, he would have been dead. Unlike the one last year, where I aimed behind. This one I aimed dead on, and it's a dead on. You know, both patterns look great. This is going to be difficult. I'm just not sure. There is a ton in that Carlson's center mass, for sure. And man, there's a ton over here. Better aim there. Yeah, it's amazing. The Carlson's, which is actually open to more. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to think about this. Make the judgment for yourself, folks. Alright, moving on to the next load. Next one up, Heavy Shot Magnum Blend, number 2. Here we go. This ought to hurt. Wow. Now that's a good 20-yard pattern. Okay, Magnum Blend, 20 yards, 5.67 with the Carlson's choke. That's a forgiving choke. A ton of shot in the kill zone. You can tell I was aiming more in the center according to the target rather than the way I like to shoot birds. But if I was floating ahead and he was walking, that's where I would have shot. This one up here, Carlson's with TSS number 9. That TSS number 9 is definitely tight. So now we got to see what Code Black can do with the Magnum blend. Very interesting. Starting to see a pattern here. Alright, more to come. Moving on. Magnum blend 5.67 next with Code Black. Magnum blend again. Heavy shot 5.67. Only this time we're going Code Black. Good choke. Let's go take a peek. All right, there's Code Black. Magnum blend 5.67 with the Code Black. Considerable difference from the Carlson's 6.60. It's tighter for sure. Obviously I aimed a little lower. Carlson's again is more forgiving. You can definitely see a tight pattern with that Code Black. And Carlson's overall is definitely a little more forgiving. Except with that TSS number 9, man, there's nothing changing much there. Not a lot, anyway. Alright, moving on. Heavy shot 13, number 6, my favorite. Let's see what that does. There's good reasons for buying a lead sled, and one is you don't beat yourself up. But I've never purchased one, and I'll probably not do this again for a long time. Alright. Here's the difference though. Heavy shot, heavy 13 with only 1100 feet per second. Actually 1,000. I forget what it was. I already know it's my favorite shot. It was just over 1,000. It's a much more gentle shot to throw out there, and you can shoot it with kids and have no problem. Yeah, it's still gonna smoke it, but nothing like the other ones do. Those are Magnums. Alright, heavy shot, heavy 13, Code Black. And my target fell over. I'll be right back. Alright, back on it. Heavy 13, Code Black, number 6. Let's see what you got. Let's kill a bird. Good pattern. Definitely not the Magnum the other ones are. Alright, heavy shot, heavy 13. Number 6, my favorite all-time shot in the world for many years. I don't see a reason to change. Code Black was great with it. More than enough kill shots. It's a good pattern, and if I aimed like I normally do, that's a good dead bird for sure. I can see a little bit down into the breast though. Interesting. I'll have to see what happens with the Carlson's now. Either way, there it is, 20 yards, heavy shot 13, number 6, Code Black. Moving on to Carlson's. Okay, I've been snaking every one of them like I said. Chokes are nice and clean, the barrels are nice and clean for every single shot. Nomad puts out some nice clothing. I'm going to be sporting their stuff this year. Liking it a lot. Very comfortable stuff. Has a nice sheen to it. In a minute I might get to find out how it does in rain at the rate we're going here. Alright, heavy shot. Heavy 13, number 6 again, Carlson's choke. I can only expect it'll be a wider spread. There's no reason not to shoot this stuff. They're all great so far. That bird's dead. All right, here it is. Carlson's definitely opens up. It is, again, like I said, a very forgiving choke. You can see it opening up with the different types of shot. The Magnum blend is a pretty dense cloud. I'll give it that. The number 6 definitely opens up. You put the number 6 in that code black, it comes back together. That is a sweet shot right there. Forgiving, at the same time, dense enough. I don't know, we're going to have to do some thinking here. Alright, I got one left. Federal Premium's 3rd degree, the new one with the TSS. Let's see what happens. Alright, here we go with the 3rd degree. This ought to be interesting. Carlson's choke, 3rd degree, the new one with the TSS in it. Again, this is going to hurt. This is the most Magnum of all of them, too. Oh, yeah, going to be black and blue. She's definitely got a kick to her. Looking at all these is why I always tell kids when I'm taking them out, especially for youth hunts. And I got a youth hunt this year. I'm hoping the weather clears for it. Float the head, you'll knock them dead. Just keep that in your brain. Float the head, knock them dead. Float the head, knock them dead. Get that in, kids. It's an easy rhyme. It's good for us adults too. You don't want to be aiming at it. When they're walking up and down, float that head. All right, Carlson's with the 3rd degree with the TSS load in it. Packing a punch out to farther distances. With the Carlson's, that's a nice tight pattern. It's pretty forgiving. But do I like it as much as that one? Whoa, there's choices to be made here today, folks. There's choices to be made. More to come. Let's see what the other choke does with this. This time, code black. I'm liking this code black. It's a good choke. Alright, 3rd degree. This stuff is not fun to shoot. Don't put a kid behind this stuff. I might not be able to get my longer yardage out of this because I got rain moving in. Okay. Code black 3rd degree, 20 yards. Man, that stuff's brutal to shoot. Alright, let's go take a look. Alright, the verdict is in on this stuff. Federal Premium 3rd degree with TSS. I'll tell you what, with the code black, I don't think I'd want to use this shot. If that was the choke I'm definitely going with, I wouldn't be using 3rd degree with it. I don't know, it's center right a little bit. I don't know, it's just a real weird pattern overall. What do you think? With the Carlson's, yeah, no problem. Tight pattern. They're both killing birds. Carlson's just a little bit better pattern with that stuff. This stuff just does not like that code black. It likes a choke that doesn't step down. Interesting. I'd like to see what it does with the True Glow. But I got weather coming in and I may not even get to shoot my longer patterns. So 3rd degree, if any of you are shooting it out there, look at your chokes. I think I would use a choke that does not have an obvious machined step down inside of it. And I mean like a ridge that's grabbing the wad. That flex wad wants to do its own thing. I think if you're using a type of choke, maybe not one that's quite as expensive, and you used something that just was machined down like normal without the step down, you'd be good. Just my opinion. Shoot your own gun. More to come. Okay folks, because of weather, I couldn't keep taping. But I pretty much decided I wanted to shoot TSS at a longer range. So, in the Mossberg with a short barrel, like it comes, the Turkey Thug 535, here's the TSS with code black. TSS number 9, 40 yards exactly with the code black choke. I was floating the head, you know what happens after that, but I could see from here up, literally, this bird is done. And I'll be cleaning the breast. So, word to the wise, aim a little high. That this is a great choke and a great load. There's a lot of BBs flying there. This bird is so dead. I don't think I'll be floating his head so high. If I use this ammo, I just want to see his head, period. And that'll be just fine. And the further out, all the more. But you got to see the turkey. You can't just shoot at the head. The only time you do that is when you got a bird strutting at 6 yards in front of you. But man, yeah, for sure. If I'm shooting at him and he's out there and I'm using this shot, I'm going to just want to see his eye floating. Because even if he ducks, he's dead. So, I am going to try this choke at 40 yards with my heavy shot heavy 13, because right now it's between these two shots. I think I'm not afraid to shoot this stuff up close. I'm just gonna have to be careful, but the target gets a lot bigger. Alright, the rain is still pretty bad, so I can't keep the camera on much. That's the biggest problem. Let's do it again. I will mark this, we'll compare later at the house. Okay folks, the rain kept coming in, but I had just enough time to go out and make one more shot. Actually, two more shots. What I ended up doing is I got the code black, which after looking at all the other shots with the code black choke, I'm just really pleased with it overall. I think it's impressive. I mean, here's the Magnum blend at 20 yards. That is just a killer choke right there. Again, you look at it here, 20 yards with a Federal 3rd degree. You know, I was complaining about it a little bit, but the more I looked at it, it's still a great pattern. It's just more of a buzz cut straight across than it is rounded. But it has more than enough there, if that turkey's moving, to take his head right off. So even again, with the Federal 3rd degree, 5.67, and the new TSS in it, it's a great choke. Here we are looking at it, 20 yards again with the heavy shot 13 number 6. You know, that's a great pattern. I have no complaints. If I was going to use this up tight and close, man, I would have no problem putting a heavy shot 13 in there, number 6, and being extremely confident. It kind of depends on where I'm going to be hunting. I might be swapping shells around, but I'm really liking that. You look at this code black with the TSS number 9. It's sick. I mean, there's going to be no head left on a turkey. And that's at 20 yards. I got to use this choke. I am just kind of excited to try it. But what I went out and did again, I did get that 40-yard shot in. And it's impressive. Here it is, 40 yards, code black with the TSS number 9. I mean, that is one dead bird. He is totally peppered. I know we saw it already, but what you didn't see was when I switched ammo back over to heavy shot 13. And when I put the heavy shot 13 in, a little bit disappointing. Heavy shot 13 really did spread out a lot. Is it a dead bird? Absolutely. There's one right through the center of the brain. There's another one in the spine right down there, and another one in the lower spine. So no matter what, this bird is dead. And I keep using the word forgiving pattern. When I say forgiving, I mean that it's kind of spreads out further in diameter, so that the shooter, if he's not as dead on, he or she, might have a better chance of getting a bird that's moving without experience. But for someone who has a lot of experience, although I can't talk too much after last year's misses, but then I know we all miss. You know, you hunt enough, you're going to miss. That's all there is to it. This right here is still a fantastic pattern. And when you look at it at 40 yards, it's crazy. I mean, nothing's getting away. What a fantastic follow-up shell. This TSS number 9 with this choke in it, this code black choke. Man, I tell you what, you could start out with something different if you wanted to. Really, you could use the Heavy Shot 13 if you know you're likely going to be shooting close, and then put the TSS number 9 in it afterwards as a follow-up. Because man, I tell you what, I don't think anything's getting away from that. It is crazy. In the end, I think I'm going to go with this choke this year. I'm very impressed with the code black choke. They've done a great job building it. Not only that, but come on, that is a good looking choke. And it looks fantastic in my gun. So hey, a little bit of wow factor in there. And the TSS shells, really cool. And if I didn't tell you before, there's something kind of neat about their shells. If you look on it, you'll find a measurement on here. And this is for measuring spurs. Because I tell you what, spurs tell the truth when it comes to the age of the bird. You can get all kinds of long beards, but spurs tell everything. Out here it's kind of hard to find a bird with big spurs because of our mountainous rocky regions going up and down. They rub the tips off constantly. Not like you guys hunting down south. Man, you got it made down there for finding spurs. Alright, well there it is. I'm pretty tight with going TSS and seeing TSS at a long distance. And this choke. Thanks guys for making this code black choke. I think you guys did a great job. We're definitely going to promote it this season. We'll see what happens. Got a youth hunt coming up this weekend. More to come. See you out there. Northwest Spur Chasers signing out.